Yo, hey, today we got YouTube's most notorious frauds and scammers. Let's go on and get into it.
It's not too uncommon these days to hear stories of YouTubers perpetrating scams and participating in.
A lot of y'all do that. A lot of YouTubers do that. A lot from like loot boxes to like codes, certain codes like PSN codes, like um, Xbox codes, shit like that. Like, oh, I once I hit certain amount of subscribers, I'll give away this. I'll give away a PlayStation, or I'll give away some makeup, or I'll give away whatever. You know what I mean? I'll give $1,000. I'll give away $500. Like a lot of y'all do that weird stuff, bro.
Fraud. While exposing these delinquent creators makes for great online drama chatter, very rarely do bad actors face legal punishment for their misdeeds. However, there
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Then you got like little prank channels that be hiring actors to do like some of the weird stuff that they do. I don't see how y'all put y'all face cards to certain pranks, knowing that. Come on, man.
does exist a small motley crew of YouTubers that have participated in fraud so severe that they actually received criminal charges, some of them landing behind bars. From an influencer accused of defrauding fans with a get-rich-quick scheme, to an automotive
See?
content creator caught scamming retired people, to a married couple faking dangerous car accidents for views, these are the YouTube fraudsters. A brief message from today's sponsor, Grammarly Go.
Man,
It's
gone,
time
bro.
to improve your writing game with Grammarly Go. Grammarly Go, the rest. Look, I use a man named Bill. This story
What?
this story involves a YouTuber known for flexing his significant wealth in.
Bro, only unless you just talking about like the YouTube scamming niggas. Omi ain't been no scam on no YouTube. Anything that he did, like he did previously.
YouTube music videos and vlogs. The question by most of his fan base, though, was where did the money come from? In 2016, a man named Bill Omar Carrasquillo would create a YouTube channel called Omi and a Hellcat. The man's YouTube moniker being derived from the Dodge Hellcat, which was his preferred vehicle, and cars and flexing would be a keystone element to his YouTube persona.
Free that
Omi's
man.
YouTube channel consisted of vlog-style content centering on his apparently lavish lifestyle.
I'm getting rid of a Rebel. I'm keeping a 150, and then I want to get a Cummins 350 to pull like. If I get a boat this year, I'll pull my boat, my jet skis. I will be getting a waterfront property this year. By next summer, you'll see in a vlog. We'll be riding jet skis, riding my own boat.
The focus of these videos varied, but wealth was always at the center. Some videos showcased his vast car collection, expensive jewelry, and luxurious properties. However, unlike Omi's colleagues in the YouTube clout vlogging space, his wealth didn't come from being an influencer. In
At
fact,
all.
the source of that wealth was quite ambiguous, to say the least. Most celebrity influencers are bragging about cribs and cars that they got from being an influencer from the beginning.
Yep.
But this wasn't the case with Omi. His money was a mystery. And what you find is that after doing a bit of digging into Omi's past, the dubious nature of his financial comeuppance becomes apparent. Omar is a man with a troubled past, to say the least. Omi had it rough as a youngster. His mother died from an overdose when he was a young boy, and his father was a
crazy, man. I know
cocaine
that.
dealer whose criminal activity eventually led to Omar moving back and forth through foster families for years. And eventually he would follow in the footsteps of his dad and become a drug dealer himself. Omar spent much of his 20s trafficking in drugs, which resulted in him being in and out of jail on numerous occasions. The man never would become Pablo Escobar, and his dabbling with drugs left him broke and with a criminal record. After spending a good amount of time in jail, Omi would become disillusioned with the drug world and his prospects, especially after he had his first son. And Omi, wanting to find a more stable source of income to raise his child, he fully left drug dealing behind in 2014 and attempted to find less blatantly illegal methods of making money.
To keep trajecting myself forward, I can't keep taking steps backwards. I'm not gonna sell no drugs. I'm not gonna. If it's potentially land me in jail, I'm not doing it.
But Omi wouldn't leave the life of crime entirely. Rather, he switched to something a little bit more difficult to detect.
If y'all don't know what he did, bro, he this back then when Fire Sticks first came out, he jailbroke Fire Sticks, and he put his own application on the Fire Stick. That basically you pay for his Fire Stick, and it gives you like everything unlimited, cable, like all the cable channels, all the sports channels, movies, things of that nature. That's how he got his come up.
Omi would pivot to a far more elaborate and lucrative form of criminality to pay the bills, and it all took place online. Over the next few years, Omi worked odd jobs to pay the bills and got proficient at online hustling in the world of web hosting. He had a particular interest in the underground Kodi community. Some of you might remember these Kodi Amazon Fire Stick devices from like the mid-2010s, where you could essentially jailbreak them and play live streaming Netflix content on them with jailbreaking devices on your TV. After studying the TV piracy game for some time, Omi would use his savviness in the space to launch a cable television piracy empire. That empire being Gears TV. Gears TV was an IPTV streaming platform created by Omar himself. It was an app that was accessible via Amazon Fire Stick. Gears TV hosted live-streamed feeds of proprietary cable television networks, offering consumers hundreds of premium television channels for just $15 a month. The service allowing its users to consume cable television, sports packages at a fraction of what a cable company would charge you. Omi illegally acquired this content by personally subscribing to cable TV providers and streaming services himself. Then he would use data encoders to bypass copy protection, allowing him to essentially restream paid cable content to viewers around the world. It was a compelling value for thousands of subscribers.
That's crazy.
And needless to say, it was extremely illegal. From 2016 to 2019, Gears TV would be the most successful of any service to employ the fraudulent tactic. It reportedly garnered over 100,000 subscribers and generated an estimated $34 million profit in the years that it operated. Gears TV made Omi a rich man, and it was the empire of cable television piracy that provided the wealth showcased in what would become the Omi and a Hellcat YouTube channel. But with a piracy empire this high-flying, it was only a matter of time before the feds got involved. With his YouTube channel running on all cylinders in the late 2010s, Omi would draw far too much attention to himself. And much in part to his braggadocious YouTube behavior, an investigation would eventually link the Gears TV piracy network to Omi himself. What followed this connection was a raid conducted by the FBI at Omar's residence.
Giving us any reason.
Annette, would you mind holding her get dressed so we can talk to her about explain what's going on?
Yes.
I want to know what's going on.
I don't want to speak to anybody right now. I want to put on my pants and like.
Do you want to get dressed?
What are you guys looking for? You guys got.
So we have a federal arrest warrant for Omar. We're gonna
Gary,
take
chill
him
out,
to the
baby.
Philly FBI office. He's gonna get processed there, and then he'll have his initial court appearance later on today, like midday today. And then that's where the judge will like give him a copy of the charges that are against him.
There's no way.
Dirty, chill, baby, chill.
What if I don't want to work?
Omar was arrested and his financial dockets audited. To make matters worse for the man, after an investigation of the paper trail around this Gears TV network, it was found that Omar had not been accurately reporting his income throughout the duration of the fraud, making him guilty of tax evasion as well as piracy. Omar was facing charges ranging from copyright infringement to tax evasion, and he initially acted like he did nothing wrong.
So they came back for the things that they alleged that I did, the copyright infringement, which, you know, I don't think I ever did anything wrong. Obviously, I was running businesses wide open in the public, so now we just got to see.
Omar would defend himself by saying that his actions were akin to watching movies with a group of friends at a party. Yeah, because, you know, showing live streamed feeds of cable networks to 100,000 people is totally the same as that, right? Needless to say, Omi was coping hard. It's unclear if Omar was genuinely under this impression or if he was intentionally trying to not admit guilt in order to avoid harsh prosecution. After all, the man was facing up to 500 years in prison after each of the individual copyright infringement charges
500 years in
compiled
prison?
together on an individual basis. Hell, I'd be playing dumb too in this case. However, later on in the process of this case, Omar would eventually state that he had a realization that his actions were wrong after viewing a documentary about Pixar Studios. Apparently, this documentary making him realize that piracy affected the small guys behind these massive studios. After being formally arrested in September of 2021, Omar would plead guilty to his charges, and his trial would conclude in March of 2023. Omi in a Hellcat was ultimately sentenced to serve 5.5 years in federal prison, on top of paying back $30 million worth of assets that he had pocketed. $14 million in restitution to the service providers that he had stolen from, and $5.7 million for backed taxes. Omar officially began serving his time on May 8th of 2023. Omi's last action before entering custody was arranging the construction of a smaller home for his family, so that they would have a place to live after his expensive properties were sold off to pay backed taxes. The Omi in a Hellcat channel still exists to this day and sits at over 800,000 subscribers. Omi has a dedicated fan base that likely will stick around to see what he's up to after his prison stint. Hopefully, he focuses more time on building his YouTube empire and stays away from the cable television piracy game.
If y'all don't know, Omi has clothing brands that he's been doing for quite some time now. Not even clothing brands like screen printing businesses that like he screen print your stuff in bulk. So that's where his money's gonna come from now, and other businesses that he have. So he didn't go in depth. So don't, bruh. Don't fuck the nigga name up,
This
bro.
next story involves an influencer accused of doing one of the scummiest things imaginable as a social media star: scamming your own fans out of money. Kayla Massa was an Instagram personality and YouTuber that posted vlog and lifestyle content detailing their day-to-day life. You know, your run-of-the-mill modern influencer shit. Selfies, storytime videos, flexing, you know the drill. And you might be asking, well, what makes Kayla Massa special in the world of social media frauds? Well, it all has to do with a bizarre series of posts in which the influencer offers money-making opportunities to her fans. In the midst of Kayla's routine content, one would find images of the woman holding large stacks of money, and videos of the woman showcasing herself receiving massive withdrawals of cash from ATMs. Writing accompanying said content would urge fans to send her a text message if they wanted to make money like this themselves. One post read, "If you're from South Jersey, have a bank account, and trying to make some quick, easy money,
one of those?
direct message me."
Oh, she on one of those? She on the Batman cover?
Upon posting these sort of mysterious cult arms for the fans to make money, some would, of course, message the woman. In messages, Kayla would then coerce the more trusting of her fans to give over their bank account details.
Who's
with the
doing that,
promise
bro?
that if they gave her their banking account informations, don't worry about the details, we'll get you some money. Now, most of you are like, who the would actually do this?
That's
And
what I just said.
many who got to this point in the text message interaction were like, "Get, I'm out of here." But as we all know, you know, some on social
I miss
media
you too,
aren't the
boy.
brightest bunch, and they would keep entertaining Kayla's sketchy requests. Sadly, those who engaged with Kayla never learned any infinite money ATM glitches. Rather, they found themselves screwed by an influencer that they looked up to. Reports say that Kayla Massa was involved in a criminal operation consisting of numerous individuals who were orchestrating an intricate banking scam. This is how it worked. Authorities say that some of those involved in this scam worked at auto-related businesses in the New Jersey area, such as factory tune auto repairs.
Bruh, so y'all gonna do this outside of y'all company or with y'all company, bruh? Y'all are some of the most slowest. Like, why would y'all do that out of a real company?
Joel's Auto Technology, Goody's Automotive, as well as a handful of Nissan dealership locations. It's alleged that through these connections, Kayla was able to get access to blank checks and money orders with the names of these businesses on them. Kayla, using her social media, would then trick her fans to hand over their banking information under the premise of a get-rich-quick scheme. Authorities claim that the woman would then forge a check from one of these auto businesses, issue the check to one of her fan bank accounts, then immediately withdraw these stolen funds from the fan bank account, her and the criminal group around her pocketing all of the proceeds. She
Wow.
profits, the business loses, and it appears as if one of her fans were responsible for the theft. You gotta admit, it's a pretty intricate
Barry,
yet
get on my,
brazenly
on the
stupid
pants, man.
scheme. By the time that the
Pacifico is a crisp golden lager, brewed for those who know. It's what's behind a label that matters.
businesses would catch wind and cancel the bad checks, Kayla would have already had the money withdrawn. It's been reported that
she
some of the
really
fans
got
who
her
got
band,
tricked
man.
were made to owe upwards of $1,000 thanks to the scam. Once these duped followers realized what had happened, they found themselves blocked by Kayla on social media. It's said that at the height of their banking scheme, Kayla and her motley crew of social media swindlers had taken up to $1.5 million from businesses and fans collectively.
What?
Eventually, though, as Kayla continued to push these scam bait posts on
Yeah,
her
babe.
main social media
Yeah,
account,
babe.
it
What's
would
up,
only
my
be a
guy?
matter of time before defrauded fans and businesses would report the woman and her apparent criminal syndicate to authorities. Following reports made by fans and businesses, authorities soon reached out to the names written on these phony checks, leading to the whole operation being uncovered. The evidence against Kayla was substantial, from direct messages exchanged with victims to bank accounts and United States Postal Service records of the money order transactions. And there was also the fact that Kayla suddenly became extremely wealthy, with the woman flexing and showcasing expensive items in her influencer content. Where did that come from, I wonder? Kayla Massa was arrested in February of 2020 and her criminal case is still pending. She's facing fraud charges for the $1.5 million allegedly stolen. And it's likely that she won't be the only individual legally wrapped up, as there were many accomplices in this operation.
Derry, stop putting your nails
Many
in me, my dog.
YouTubers have been accused and exposed for creating fake stunts and pranks to get YouTube views and engagement.
Derry.
But the channel featured in this
I
next
gotta get
story
your nails cut. I
really
gotta cut
takes
your nails.
faking
I ain't
it
gotta
to
get
the
your-
next level,
Alright,
where
bye,
it ends
dog.
up becoming fraud in the process and those responsible getting charged. It all begins with a YouTube channel known as Blue Ghost. Blue Ghost posted hundreds of recordings of car accidents captured from dashcam footage. Dashcam crash video footage is a popular niche on YouTube, with thousands of these crash videos boasting view counts in the millions. Now, it goes without saying that capturing video of a car crash is kind of like an incidental thing. It's uncommon to witness a car crash in person, and it's even more rare to have a camera or dash cam on ready to film it. Most crash videos on YouTube are simply one-off uploads that someone just happened to catch and throw on the internet. However, Blue Ghost was a peculiar channel. It featured a curiously high amount of original dashcam crash footage. Like, the owner of this channel appeared to be witnessing and recording crashes on a weekly basis almost. Blue Ghost footage was
I mean, that's not a rarity though. Like, bro, crashes happen every day. It all depends on if that person is out. He might be a driver. He might drive for a living. He might do DoorDash. He might do Uber. He might drive trucks, like actual trucks. Like, it's not a rarity, bro. Like, accidents happen quite frequent, if you like, to be honest with you. Very common.
was posted with the claim that it was really the creator themselves behind the wheel, the identity of the individual not known at the time. It said that 23 of the channel's uploads were directly tied to collisions that Blue Ghost themselves had been in.
We're not going anywhere near Mommy's work.
Oh, Jesus Christ, baby.
Have fresh cold water at home.
The sheer frequency of Blue Ghost crashes uploaded to the channel created a spectacle within the dashcam community on YouTube. Many online dissected Ghost's recordings, and some ridiculed the uploader for their poor driving, while others suspected that there was something more nefarious going on. How could one guy be in so many car crashes? There was a thought that the wrecks featured in Blue Ghost videos were in fact not accidents, with some claiming that the crashes could have been perhaps staged in an effort to create dramatic YouTube content and rake in ad revenue in the process. Bizarrely enough, what the YouTube community would eventually come to find is that yes, the Blue Ghost crashes were setups,
Why you
but the
biting that?
staging of the accidents wasn't for clout or YouTube views. The true purpose of these crashes was far more intricate and nefarious. It was eventually revealed that the individuals behind the Blue Ghost account were a married couple, Christopher and Kimberly Phelps from Yucaipa, California, and their online crash
Never heard
videos
of
were
it.
merely a byproduct of an insurance fraud scheme that they had been participating in. The fraud went as follows. Christopher and Kimberly would record themselves driving and intentionally cause car accidents in a manner where they could paint the other driver as the faulty party and collect insurance money. They
Thi-
purposely put their
These niggas is weird, bro.
vehicle in precarious scenarios and tried to get other people to hit them. And they would use their footage as evidence against those who hit them.
Bro, these niggas is weird, bro. Nigga, I got kids, bruh. I would hate to be driving with my 6-year-old son or my 3-year-old daughter, and then you got a motherfucker out here who playing with a vehicle. Like, you playing a vehicle is not a toy, bruh. Like, you could really kill somebody, bro. You trying to stage or you trying to get some money, like, go figure out a hustle, a real hustle, not the. Come on, bruh. What's up with you niggas, man? That's the type of stuff to get niggas put hands on. Niggas be putting hands on people like that. Like, come on, bruh. What the fuck is you doing?
Them, and they would also upload it to YouTube as well. The couple got away with their scheme for years until they eventually flew too close to the sun. In February of 2023, the couple would conduct yet another one of their stunts. While driving, Christopher stopped his vehicle in the middle of the road for seemingly no reason, resulting in him being rear-ended by a truck. The man would report the accident to police and went through the channels of defrauding insurance. However, after looking at the nature of the collision, police became suspicious of what had happened and suspected that Christopher may have intentionally caused the accident. Meanwhile, footage of this accident was soon posted to the Blue Ghost YouTube channel. A tip would lead to the sheriff's department discovering this vast back catalog of car crash content. A back catalog that they found extremely suspicious. An investigation was opened and Christopher was soon arrested and charged with 2 felonies. Assault with a deadly weapon and causing a crash for a false insurance claim.
Whew.
After the arrest, the Blue Ghost
Spanked
YouTube
his
channel
ass.
would be removed from the platform, and police were given copies of the videos to use as evidence. After looking into records and cross-referencing footage on the Blue Ghost channel, it was revealed that between the two, the couple had filed 17 false insurance claims since July of 2020. 42 videos on their channel were determined to be intentionally risky and 23 captured collisions. To make matters worse, in some of the videos, the couple's child was present in the vehicle.
Niggas is fucking weirdos, bro. Bro, you niggas are fucking weirdos, bro. Like, real life, you niggas are fucking weirdos. Like, who does shit like that, bruh? Niggas, that's what come from, like, not having no real dog in you, bruh. That's what come from really not having no real, like, you don't have no goals, like, no aspirations, like, bruh, you don't have nothing, like, you ain't never try to be nothing. You ain't go to school for nothing. You ain't working a job for nothing to get promoted in no way, shape, or form. Like,
The child being present in some of the videos and the sheer scale of the fraud that was being committed resulted in Kimberly being arrested as well. Christopher was charged with an additional 32 felonies after police had performed a full
Dang, chill out,
investigation.
man.
6 counts of assault
Alright,
with a
enough,
deadly
chill out.
weapon,
Chill
11
out.
counts of insurance fraud, and 5 counts of child endangerment. His wife Kimberly was separately charged with 3 felonies, 1 count of insurance fraud, and 2 counts of child endangerment. Each had bail set at $500,000, and to this day the case is still being processed. It goes without saying that the behavior showcased by Kimberly and Christopher is extremely disturbing. Not only was this a scam that was attempting to fleece innocent drivers out of money, it's actually miraculous that there wasn't a serious injury in the dozens of crashes that they intentionally
Niggas is
caused.
fucking
According
weird.
to a press release published in May of 2023, both Christopher and Kimberly have been convicted of their crimes. Christopher was sentenced to serve 3 years in state prison. His wife...
So this nigga just get 3 years for risking niggas' lives? Y'all trying to get... Hold up. I don't want to make this no race thing, bruh. I don't want to make this no race thing. Bruh. I digress.
Kimberly was sentenced to serve 90 days in Weekend County Jail.
90 days? 90 days in a weekend? Bruh, what the fuck? What the fuck? Shit is lame, bruh. Y'all tried to get Umi, who ain't. Y'all tried to get Umi. What they say? 500 years. They tried to give Umi 500 years for doing the same shit these niggas did. Fraud. Copyright infringement. Fraud. These motherfuckers fraud the motherfucking insurance companies. 3 years. And y'all try to give Umi 500. That...
Work release, 3 years of supervised probation, and a 52-week child abuse prevention program. One can only hope that this couple's time in the clink will serve as a
3 years and another motherfucker get 90 days. And some 90 days and a bunch of other shit.
deterrent to potential future dangerous accident staging behavior.
Niggas is real life weird.
This
No
next
cap.
story involves a YouTuber found guilty of defrauding people out of retirement money. In the mid-2010s, a YouTuber...
Before we even get into it, I bet this nigga got no more than 5 years.
known as Gas Kings rose to popularity. If the name wasn't a giveaway already, the British creator focused on content exclusively surrounding vehicles. This channel was created and front-run by a man named Anthony Locke. The channel featured Anthony and his friends driving souped-up and modded vehicles. With high speeds and burning rubber being thematic backdrops to this channel, Anthony Locke and the Gas Kings collaborators would upload for many years and became legendary within the automotive space on YouTube, amassing a massive subscriber base of close to 700,000 subs. And this is in the mid-2010s, which is like really impressive for that time. However, unbeknownst to the public, behind the tuned-up automotive antics, Anthony had long been partaking in a far more scandalous and lucrative venture. A venture that would end up with aging retirees scammed, and Anthony in prison. Prior to the start of the Gas Kings YouTube channel, Anthony and his business partner, Ray King, had created a website known as Successful Pensions. Their Successful Pensions website and service marketed itself as a means of withdrawing money from one's retirement fund.
It's time to choose. Why not both?
Arnold Palmer spiked.
Without penalty before the age of 55. Anthony claimed that he could offer these pensioners a 50% upfront payout and that the remainder of their retirement funds would be invested into a business called Nature Eco Investments, where the money would accrue additional value as the stock price of this business rose. The premise of Nature Eco Investments was quoted as being planting trees, creating new forests with carbon sinks that absorb CO2, purchasing existing wild forests to protect them, and the wide range of biodiversity within them. So Anthony was offering a service where a pensioner, a retiree, would be like, hey, I need my money now, I can't wait till 55. He gives them 50% of their pension up front, as long as they put the other 50% in this
business
company that no one really knows anything about and was just created recently. Seems a bit sus, right? Now, for many who are retired and going through a hard time, they can't wait till the age of 55, and a service like this is quite tantalizing to say the least. But the idea of offering someone their retirement money in advance is a classic scam. Pensions are created to only be tapped into after a person is of retirement age and incapable of working. In the United Kingdom, accessing a pension early results in the earner being penalized 55% in taxes of that money. Successful pensions attempted to convince their victims that they could get around this tax problem by lying to their original pension providers, stating that they were now employed by the company that Anthony Locke had created. Under the premise that they were working and no longer retired, you can move around your retirement, so what they would do is essentially try to move their pension to Anthony's company, this being done tax-free. But this was extremely illegal. You can't do this. And that's not even the worst of it. The truly insidious element of this operation was that Anthony Locke and Ray King would pocket the money that was supposedly going to be invested in their company by these pensioners by sending it to offshore bank accounts owned by Anthony's mother and former business partner. Anthony Locke and Ray King created a slew of fake documents to convince the world of the legitimacy of their startup businesses, and they ran the entire operation under aliases. The two men preyed on those most vulnerable. People who would solicit Locke's services were naturally in dire financial circumstances. These included people that had suffered injuries that prevented them from working, a business owner whose company was actively collapsing, and a woman who had become homeless following her divorce. After taking part and getting their first 50% upfront payout, each had their remaining 50% of their total pension siphoned off by Anthony and his accomplices, the money never being seen again. This organized scam was active from September of 2013 to April of 2014, ending just before the creation of Anthony Locke's primary Gas King YouTube account. It would be nearly 5 years before the scandal was unearthed, after the full financial burden had fallen on its victims, and the investing portion of the scam that his victims had been promised was outed as a sham. The lid was eventually blown on this entire scheme, and Anthony Locke and his accomplice Ray King would be arrested. An investigation would show that the duo had scammed 16 people out of a total of nearly 1 million British pounds, which was approximately 1.3 million USD at the time.
That's crazy.
Some of the money that was scammed was actually used to purchase some of the expensive vehicles that would inevitably be featured on the Gas King's YouTube channel, such as an Audi R5 and R8, an Aston Martin Vantage, a Mercedes B180, and a Porsche 911. After the full extent of his crimes were revealed, Anthony Locke was charged with 23 counts of fraud and 3 counts of money laundering. Ray King was charged with 14 counts of fraud. In April of 2018, the media began to funnel the story onto the internet, where audiences of the Gas King's channel discovered the situation for the first time. Needless to say, fans were completely shocked and disappointed. In 2018, Anthony Locke, the Gas King himself, was sentenced to serve 5 years in jail, while...
What the fuck I tell you, nigga? Bruh, I never seen this video, bruh. I've never seen this video, bro. 5 years. Bruh, what the fuck?
Ray King would receive 3 years and a month following a guilty verdict.
And this nigga get 3 years in a month? Come on, bruh.
To add insult to injury, Gas King's YouTube channel has been deleted from the platform. Unfortunately, I'm unable to ascertain if Anthony Locke is still behind bars. But needless to say, it's sad to see someone take advantage of people in rocky financial circumstances the way the Gas King did. This next story is a glimpse into the life of a man who just might be America's most notorious police impersonator. A man infamous for a video of him being caught red-handed going viral on YouTube. This is the story of Jeremy DeWitt. Jeremy DeWitt, born and raised in Central Florida, has been strangely obsessed with the idea of becoming a cop since childhood. And as a teenager, his attempts at appearing as if he was a cop would get him in legal trouble. In 1998, at the age of 17, Jeremy reportedly added police lights to his vehicle and attempted to get free gasoline while posing as a police officer. This incident was reported to actual police, resulting in Jeremy DeWitt's first police impersonation charge. Jeremy would continue to impersonate police into adulthood. He was hit with related charges.
Bruh, for all that, why the fuck you ain't just be a police officer, bruh? Like, ain't nothing wrong. Like, bro, if you want to be a police officer that bad, bro, why the fuck you just ain't be a police officer?
In both 2001 and 2003, and as a result, Jeremy received a felony conviction and was given jail time. Jeremy's sentence would be extended by 4 additional years after it was discovered that he had violated parole, and around this time it was found that Jeremy had engaged in lewd acts with a minor. Naturally, this increased his time in jail, and he was made to register as a sex offender. Finally, after getting out of jail as a result of these crimes, it appeared as if Jeremy DeWitt was on the straight and narrow path. After getting out, the man created his own business where he operated a private funeral procession service, where him and his employees would guide funeral attendees and clear out traffic on the drive from a funeral home to a person's burial site. This business would eventually become Metro State Special Services. At Metro State, Jeremy and his employees wore uniforms that bore an uncanny resemblance to that of policemen and vehicles that looked like official police cars. I think you can see where this story is going. Jeremy's company's name, the police vehicles, the uniforms, it seemed like after getting out of jail for committing police impersonation, it seemed like the man was leaning back into his old habits. Take, for example, the Metro State Company badge. This badge closely resembled the official design of the Los Angeles Police Department. The man's Metro State vehicles were black and white in color like a cop car, featuring Metro State symbolism on the side. His emblems fixed in a way where one might find the city and department name on a police cruiser. Metro State members wore gray, reflective, or dark blue uniforms. While these didn't match the brown and white shirts of Florida police specifically, it was undeniable that the Metro State dress code resembled the silhouette of real police. The disturbing reality of Jeremy's activities were that while he was actually operating a legit funeral procession service, in his extracurricular time, he was posing as a policeman and using his gear and vehicles to do this. And we know this because Jeremy actually recorded himself with the police body cam in the process.
Hi! How are you today?
Find what you love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
These niggas.
You must have missed that it's 45 through there, and then you use the turning lane to cut through traffic. I understand you're in a nice car and everything, but let's be a little more mature the way you drive. Let's drive the right way then.
Are you a cop?
Don't worry about what I am, because I'm a state agent, so what you need to do is make sure you're doing the right thing, fuckboy.
As a result of these activities, Jeremy has been detained multiple times since the formation of Metro State, under the suspicion of him impersonating law enforcement.
Get out of the way! Move your fuck! Get your fucking car out of the way now!
This guy was causing so many problems for the local police that he was on a first-name basis with actual officers in town.
Who is this guy? Oh, that's Jeremy right there?
Oh, God, not him again. It's Jeremy.
In one interaction with police...
One nigga said, oh my God, not this guy again. You know you're a motherfucking shitball. The nigga said, not this guy again. They want your ass out of there. Get your ass out of town, bruh.
Jeremy would reveal to them that he filmed his activities with a body camera. This made them think that he was committing more police impersonation than they actually realized. This admission would result in a warrant being filed to get access to Jeremy's video content. This warrant was granted and painted a better picture of the true scope of Jeremy's police impersonation activities. Needless to say, this evidence would be used against Jeremy in the trials that he inevitably faced. After Jeremy's body cam footage was added to public court records, it was discovered by an independent journalist.
Ain't this nigga supposed to be doing funeral services? Like, what the fuck is you doing, bruh? Alright, cool. We gonna give you the police. You wanna look like a police? Nigga, you supposed to be doing funeral services, nigga. What the fuck is you doing, bruh? You directing traffic and all. What are you doing, bruh?
Journalist named Jay Horowitz. This individual would publish some of Jeremy's body cam footage to the Real World Police YouTube channel. Jeremy, who was nothing more than a local Florida oddity, would go viral after his footage was published to YouTube, making the man a pariah within the true crime and law enforcement communities online. Jeremy's embarrassing body cam footage made him into a living meme, and not the good kind of living meme. Jeremy claims that he was being treated unfairly by the public and was being stalked as a result of the viral body cam footage. In the wake of his living meme-hood, Jeremy would create his own YouTube channel to add to the discourse that had begun to break out online. But needless to say, few were willing to hear him out. As social media attention was at its peak regarding the case of Jeremy DeWitt, the man would actually make an appearance on the Dr. Phil show alongside his lawyer.
I believe that there are certain members of law enforcement that are out to get me. My company has received a total of 86 citations for running red lights or using an air horn.
The most interesting thing to come out of his Dr. Phil appearance was a lie detector test taken by the man. And I have to point out that this was a polygraph test that Jeremy himself requested.
3. During the course of your duties, have you knowingly used authority exclusively given to law enforcement officers? And your answer was?
No.
What was the result?
You lied.
It is my opinion that Mr. DeWitt was being deceptive to the target questions.
Okay, and what numerically, what would he have to have scored to have come out deceptive?
This methodology calls for a -3 or less in order to be in the deceptive range. Mr. DeWitt scored at a -37.
On top of the police impersonation charges, it was found that Jeremy failed to re-register as a sex offender, so he got additional punishment for that as well. After all of Jeremy's wrongdoings had been tallied in court, the man was facing 85 years in prison, but he would never have to face this much time. Jeremy DeWitt would ultimately accept a plea deal that reduced his sentence to 18 months. Provided that he shut down Metro State and forgo firearms, security vehicles, and anything else such as uniforms that would aid him in impersonating law enforcement. The man was also forbidden from operating social media. Jeremy DeWitt would serve his time and was released in August of...
Bruh, you know how fucking boring life would be without social media? Like, I'm not even talking about, like, just scrolling. I'm just talking about just, like, bro, no Twitter, no Instagram, no Facebook, no Reddit, no YouTube. You know how boring? No YouTube.
2022. However, after being released, the man began posting videos to his YouTube
Again?
channel, Metro State, an act which violated the terms of his parole. Because of this, Jeremy was compelled to return to prison on the 30th of November. And as far as we know, Jeremy remains there to this day. Media attention surrounding Jeremy has died down in recent times, but a recent press release states that he was charged with insurance fraud in January of 2023, the charge apparently stemming from old dealings. If Jeremy is found guilty on these new insurance-related charges, the man could face upwards of 75 years in prison. If there's anything to be said about Jeremy DeWitt, it's that old habits die hard, and even if this man does serve his time, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him face-to-face with legal issues again. Easily one of the most infamous police impersonators in history, that was the story of Jeremy DeWitt. And well, you've made it to the end. Let me know what you guys thought about.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Like I said, if you wanted to be that police that bad, bro, just go be a police, bro. Like, you was 17. Why you just didn't go to, you know, to try to do the academy or something? Because, what the fuck? Like he was doing this his whole life, bro. From 17 to he got arrested, bro. As a grown ass man, bro. Like this nigga's crazy. See y'all niggas in the next video though. Peace.